G'day, fellas. Welcome to the opening match of the show match, the $1,000 table topper. Spawning in the east of the map, in the color blue, playing his Germans, is Kaiserklein. His opponent, spawning in the west of the map, is Knuschelbär. Knuschelbär. Spawning in with the Inca. You thought this guy was a one-trick pony. It turns out he is not, my friends. He is playing the Inca. So if you're excited about that, I want to see it in chat. Give me some pogs. Give me some drong pogs. Let me see that excitement. Because I tell you what, I didn't expect this. I was like, yep, Nush is going to be playing Sweden. It's going to be amazing. Nush is playing Inca. Okay, this excites me greatly. So let's talk a little bit about the map, Punjab. So obviously players start off with a rickshaw. This rickshaw is able to be used to collect the cows. And it balances out the civilizations. Not every civilization starts with a scout. But on this map, because of the cows, you start with these cows at the top. If you've got a scout, it makes it a little bit more balanced because you've got a second unit that you can scout with at the beginning of the game. And so that's one of the reasons why. Other than that, we're also on Punjab, and looking like these two players are slowly meeting up in the middle. Noosh is actually macroing to get these the 4 villages in from the Kancha house. This is a best of 9, right? This is indeed a best of 9. We have 9 maps that they're going to be playing on. We've got an 80 wood treasure up here to the north, so I'm going to be turning off the line of sight. I'd love to know what you guys think in the chat. Should there be line of sight or should there not be line of sight? It looks like the clock might be running a little bit slowly. We'll have to work that one out though, and monitor it. We've got some sneaky little cows coming in from Noosh. He's managed to pick up 3 of the cows. How many have we got on the side of Kaiserklein? It looks like Kaiser's got 1 of the yaks. And Noosh's Explorer being scouted out by the Grove Rickshaw. Do we see the Explorer moving? We see the Explorer moving to the north, but I don't think he's going to be able to make it in time. And he identifies that and pulls it back, at the same time going for his own treasure. Now, this has been scouted out by Noosh. So the question is, now we do see the Queen's Festival being researched, the 4 villages coming in, and the 2 fattened llamas. Interesting. Let's take a look at Noosh's deck and see exactly what he's got going on. This is a pretty standard deck, 300 wood, 2 llamas, exotic hardwoods. We've also got the Chicha brewing, and more interestingly, we've got the terrace farming in the 4th age. We don't see any revolt options potentially coming out from Knuschelbär. And the German, and so, wow, really taking a fair bit of damage there. It looks like 150 damage just from that line. So in the German home city, let's take a look and see what we've got here. Pretty standard stuff. No winged hussars in the 4th age. We do indeed have economic theory, and we've got silversmith. So curious as to whether we're going to be seeing silversmith coming out early for Kaiserklein. This is an interesting card. Sorry guys, just a moment. Just going to start a record over on the left hand side. Totally forgot about that earlier. So this is a card that I've been very curious about. So Kaiser going up very early. This is a 16 age up from Kaiserklein. Now, hold on, he's got 3 water buffalo. He didn't even eat a buffalo. He got the 100 food treasure and he said, you know what? I'm going up. I've started market and I've got enough resources to age up on time. That is insane. I don't think I've ever seen that with Germans. Germans typically are going to be aging at 17, and sometimes they even have a bit of idle time at 17. So incredibly tight macro coming out there from the big Kaiserklein. Now, keep in mind, we do have 2 Ks. We've got Knuschelbär and Kaiserklein. So I might get them mixed up at some points during the series. So apologies if that does happen. But other than that, it looks like we've got Kaiser chopping in transition. We might turn off Fog of War at this point because the players are about to enter the battle. And Kaiser finishing that Gangsaw. So we've now got hunting dogs, Gangsaw, as well as placer mines on these German settler wagons. On the other side of the map, we've got Knuschelbär putting the chief into queue, a relatively late age up, looking like you've clicked up probably about 320 and beginning to put down those Kancha houses. Keep in mind, he did send the 2 fattened llamas. It looks like he's eaten 1 of them, and the second one is sitting on top of the villages, ready to be eaten. I'm curious what kind of build order he's going to be looking for. We see a lot of interesting stuff coming out of Inca, because obviously Inca being a new civilization, they're a little bit unexplored. But I suspect with this matchup as well, it's going to be something that Kaiserklein typically hasn't prepared for, because there's just, you don't really expect people to play Inca. Kaiserklein doing a lovely wall though. I really do like this. He's put his mango grove down out the front. He's got his market down blocking as well, so any potential chimney raids that do come in. And we've got a tower rush coming out, ladies and gentlemen. Kaiserklein has put this towered forward. Now, this hasn't even been scouted by Knuschelbär yet, but we do have a village up that's very, very close, and I'm curious, is it going to be getting shot by this outpost? This outpost is going to come... Oh. Oh, it's so close. Oh my lord, that outpost was... That could have been incredibly close. I don't even know. It was like the villager was right here and it was hurting this way. And it just missed it. So Kaiserklein up. This is an incredibly early up. We see Knusch almost getting a little bit punished here, I would say. With the age up time that he had a little bit late. Actually, it's not coming in that late. Probably be about 440. So not terrible. Knusch bringing the Explorer back around. The Explorer from Kaiserklein is in the base of Knusch. He's scouting him out. He's saying, where you at, dog? Where you at? What's going on? And we see the Chasqui coming out. The first war hut goes down. The second war hut goes down. No blocking coming out at all from Kaiser, but we do see he's sieging the first war hut. Correct move. And holy, look how early this is coming in. This is a trading post rush. First villager looks like it's going to go down. Kaiser not missing a beat. Absolutely just picking that villager up. And we've got the Ulans that are beginning to siege down the trading post. Or down the war hut, apologies. I don't know whether they're going to be able to do it, but they're... Oh my... Look at the damage that's coming out. So they're getting 4 times damage bonus from this because it's actually under construction. And it definitely looks like the first war hut is going to be going down. The reinforcing pikes coming in behind. We see Knusch is actually sending 600 wood. So not opting to send a unit shipment here like Kaiser. Kaiser did in fact send those crossbows first. And the first war hut does go down. So I would say at this point Kaiser's in a commanding lead. But keep in mind, he's sacrificing a fair bit to be in this lead. He hasn't been able to ship the 3 settler wagons from the home city. I say that, but look what is in queue right now. Kaiser really just putting out that early pressure and then just taking a step back. There's no 700 wood here. There's no 600 wood to follow it up. It's literally just the tower going down. And then from there, everything a little bit more passive. I like this play a lot. It's really smart. The issue that you're going to have, typically as a German, is you just don't have enough wood. You really don't have enough wood because your shipments... They're going to be taking 4 more population than any other civilization because, or at least in the Second Age, because you're going to be shipping 2 Ulans extra. Now, obviously, the Germans get the strongest Age 2 shipment in the game, which is 3 settler wagons. That's the equivalent of 6 settlers in the Second Age. That is massive. When most other civilizations only get 5, some civilizations only get 4. Looks like Knusch's Explorer has been snared by the Ulans. They do get that bonus against them, but it's going to be going down. And Kaiserklein actually realizing that, pulling his Ulans back, trying to avoid losing them. Are they going to go down to the poison? Poison is ticking. 1, 2, 1, 2. And the Chimera runners are out. Oh, didn't they look beautiful when they just popped out like that? Just absolutely ready to snare. Well, not ready to snare yet, but they're going to be doing damage. But Ulans now on the back line. I suspect that we've got the forward... we didn't have the forward settler wagons, but Knusch doing really well with the Chimera, getting them on the back line. Kaiserklein not having his pikes in position. And as a consequence, it means that a fair few of the crossbows have gone down. But we've got that reinforcing batch coming in. Pikes are being made by Kaiser. Knusch has got 700 coin in on the back of this. Is he going to be able to hold here? He's got villagers in his town center, going to be trying to take out these Ulans. It's going to make it a lot easier for his jungle bowmen to be able to kite back. And the real question here is, has enough economic damage been done to Knusch at the moment to at least buy Kaiserklein time? Because I suspect that from here, he's going to be looking to send 700 coin as his next card. There it is. You see it in queue. Aussie Drongo with the big brain. There's big brains around here. We've got Don Artie, but we've got Aussie Drongo who's got it even worked out. He knows what's happening. So with those 3 settler wagons, we see them shipped to the forward outpost just so that they can get in and reinforce a little bit sooner on the front line with the Ulans. But now those settler wagons moving over to this coin mine, really smart play. One of the issues that you run into with Germany, you don't have enough coin. And when I say don't have enough coin, it's not that you can't mine enough coin. It's that you mine so much coin, you don't have enough coin mines. And so this is your first coin mine. This is your second coin mine. Well, hold on a minute. You can mitigate all of that by mining from this coin mine instead. Because typically this coin mine is going to be out of reach. And Kaiserklein even respecting that and say, you know what? I'm just going to put down a nice little wall. You might push out with some Chimera runners, as exactly as we see Knusch doing right now. And Kaiserklein really respecting that and just saying, you know what? I'm not going to let it happen. But I'm curious to see what direction Kaiser is going to go from here. I wonder if he hasn't included 5 doppels in his deck. I think in this matchup, 5 doppels actually might be a pretty good card to send. Just because of the way that the Chimu interacts with pikemen and with crossbows, it's very easily able to get through them. But with doppels, obviously having a larger area of effect attack, going to be much easier for them to be putting out that damage. And now Kaiserklein also spotting these to the north, but not really respecting them. He's got a couple of villages back here. He thinks they might be in a safe spot. Has Knusch actually scouted this? He hasn't. This is all blind for Knusch right now. He's really just... and we see Kaiser just straight away just popping them out to the other side. Really being wonderful with his control. Avoiding any kind of idle time. He's got 3 villages in the town center at the moment. And we've got those villagers chopping. But is Knusch going to catch? Knusch doesn't catch those villagers that are just sitting here out of his line of sight. And we see Kaiserklein picking up a couple of kills. Going to be able to take out the very first one, well, the second one, and take out 10 HP left on that second Chimu runner. So an incredibly good job. Now, one of the things I will note is that Knusch definitely seems to be a little bit anchored towards Age 2 at this point. He's shipping behind this 6 Jungle Bowmen. He's not going for a more greedy card like Chinsha Brewing or an upgrade like Karare or 600 wood to put down a few more canchers. He's committing to the second age. Oh, what was that? There was a little bit of a bug that just occurred there. An artifact, I'd say. So I would suspect from here that we're not going to be looking for Knusch to age up. I would say Knusch is playing age 2 100%. So Kaiserklein has obviously aged up. We've got some war wagons now in queue. Dropping down a stable as well. He's macroing here for a pretty strong skirmisher timing. We've got the 3 war wagons coming in as well. So the question is going to be, is it really worth sending them to this forward outpost? This is a potential problem. I see this as quite an issue. The Chimus... Oh, he is going to be sending it to the forward outpost, I think. Putting that gate there really sort of like telegraphs what he's planning to do. But some of the skirmishers coming out now and just absolutely... The first one just getting completely pumped by the Jungle Bowmen. And we've got those 3 war wagons. The war wagons aren't going to be able to make it in time. I think this is going to go down, really focusing down. How many Chimu runners have we actually got here? We've got 12 Chimu runners and the 5 plume spearmen. They're going to go down right before the war wagons get in. So really the timing that Knusch picked was almost perfect. Had they come in on the front line, very easily able to come in here, put a lot of damage and prevent this from happening. Then we see the Chimus doing a bit of a dance on the left-hand side of the wall, but now we see the issue that I identified about 16 seconds ago, and that is that the settler wagons are being forced to idle, potentially. And now we've got the Chimu runners that are heading onto the skirmisher mass, being repelled by the war wagons. The pikes really not being a problem, heading into cover mode. You see them nice and slow, but at the same time on the back line, we've got these plume spearmen taking down the racks. The skirmishers have been able to come out, take down 2 of them, more Chimus coming in, and this wall is very, very cute, but at the same time, very, very effective. Kaiserklein having the Ulan, just doing a little bit of snaring on the back line, but Kaiserklein definitely in an overpowering position at this point. He's made it to the 3rd age. He's done so safely. He's applied pressure, and he's kept his opponent in the 2nd age. Knusch stacking up a huge amount of resources at the moment, doing the 1100 food, and also shipping Chicha Brewing behind this. So the question is, what is the play here from Knusch? Because when it comes to canchers, he's got 10 canchers. But at this point, he's in a difficult spot. He was really hoping that he was going to be able to do some damage here at the front. He managed to take down the outpost. I really feel like what he needed was just slightly more plumed spearmen. He had 5 of them. If he had shipped plumed spearmen from the home city, it would have enabled him to really get a bit of extra siege on this barracks, force it down. Then you prevent the next batch of skirmishers coming out. So we've got 9 skirmishers. That batch wouldn't have come out, or it would have been very close to dying. And now behind it, this is the problem that we've got. The problem that we've got is that Knusch is going to be somewhat backed into a corner, and Kaiserklein is going to be absolutely able to pummel him. He's going to be taking out volley after volley. The skirmishers match up incredibly well, in my opinion, against the Jungle Bowmen, because the Jungle Bowmen have only got 16 range, and compare that to a skirmisher, 20 range. So we got 20 range for the skirmisher. So really just, let me turn on the setting. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. I've forgotten to turn on this setting. It is under game options, I think. Allow computer players to chat. Nope. Enable right-click camera drag. There we go. So hopefully you have a little bit more of a smooth experience now. A little bit of interjection or Harrison, perhaps. That should hopefully make things a bit smoother for you guys in the chat at the moment, or watching this back on YouTube at a later date. Oh, sorry. I just hit my microphone. But we do have the mass beginning to push in now. Quite a sizable mass. 7 war wagons. This is a lot. Now, you got to be really careful with these, just because they overkill so much. That's 42 damage on each one of them. You got 7 of those. Just do some quick math in the chat. That's more than 280 damage that you've got coming out on each one of those. More than enough to overkill those Chimus. But nonetheless, I suspect we probably won't see any more war wagons out from here. It's just going to be a continual reinforcing batch of skirmisher. We see vet Ulans as well, so maybe we might see a potential switch of 9 Ulans come in at a later date. But Germany definitely looking in a great position here. Kaiserklein just really demonstrating that with the score as well. It doesn't seem to be close. He's got a huge mass, a lot of siege coming out on these war wagons as well. 30 damage a shot. And the skirmishers just sitting on the back line. We see the pikes are actually in cover mode right now. You can tell because their siege and their hand attack is halved. So how many pikes do we have? We've got 5 pikes. He's just put them out of siege, out of cover mode. And on the back line, we've got the War Hut that is going up from Noosh. Is he going to be able to hold? We've got the 9 Ulans coming in at the same time. Ulan's being trained by Kaiserklein. Really demonstrating his prowess here with his build order. And absolutely nothing being trained or sent from the home city right now for Knusch. Really, really... I don't know how he's going to deal with it. I suspect he's probably not going to be able to deal with this. At this point, I feel like the timing that Kaiserklein has hit has just been so on point. That early aggression into the semi-fast fortress. How do you deal with it? And as a result, we now see Knuschelbär's town center being driven down. I might just turn that in-game volume down just ever so slightly. It's hitting me pretty hard. Not sure if it's hitting you guys. But I suspect from here that it's going to be pretty darn close to being called, just simply because we've got Plume Spearmans coming in, but are they going to be able to make it? I mean, the entire army from Knuschelbär has just been completely wiped out. We've got Plume Spearmen on the top side, but they're not really able to achieve much. And on top of this, we're going to be having 9 Ulans coming in any second. Where are they? 9 Ulans, oh, that have just cleaned up a raid. I totally apologize. I've missed this one. But Knuschelbär calling the GG. Apologize for not spotting that, but we see 1, 2, 3, 4 Chimus that are dead. Let's have a look at the end. Hopefully we don't drop. Hopefully we haven't dropped. I apologize if we're dropping. Stay with us if we do drop. That is the end of game 1. We see a whole bunch of villages that actually went down. Wow, that is a huge amount of villages that dropped down. So from 38 down to 29. It looks like we haven't dropped out, at least yet. And I will update the scoreboard so that it is reflected that Kaiserklein has now got 1 victory compared to Noosh's 0.